guys, welcome back. Today we are going to do a pretty massive book haul. This is an accumulation of like the past 2 months or so, and some of this was also from Christmas and Christmas like gift cards that I got. So this is a way bigger haul than I feel like is normal by any stretch of the imagination, but I just wanted to share with you guys because these are books that I am super excited to read in 2026, and some of them are going to be part of my 26 and 2026 and just like my general physical TBR. I do just want to like reflect a little bit because the year of 2026, I really want to focus on 3 aspects of my health. The first one is my environmental health. So like and by that I mean like my surroundings and what I'm bringing into my home and my consumption in my home and just in my life in general. I'm trying to be a lot more conscious of that this year. Second is my financial health. So just prioritizing saving more money versus spending money on stuff that's going to give me like short-term happiness. I want more stuff that's going to be giving me long-term happiness. And third is my physical and my mental health. I did just want to like touch on that quickly because this is obviously a large amount of books and a lot of money that's spent on books, but almost all of the books that I get on sale at some sort of a discount. I got a lot of stuff on Black Friday, so those were all discounted. Target runs a ton of book sales like very frequently. Same thing with Amazon. And then Barnes & Noble has been having a 50% off sale on some hardcover books, so I did take advantage of that and I got a lot of books, and I had some gift cards and I had some Barnes & Noble credits. So yeah, this is a lot of physical things that I'm bringing into my home, but everything in this haul is something that I'm super excited about, and I know I'm going to read them. I read an average of 10 to 15 books per month, so honestly like I can read a lot of books and a lot of physical books in a month and get through them, and I am going to try to be a little bit better about getting rid of the books that I don't necessarily like in my home, just to create more space in my house and to decrease the physical kind of consumption that's in my home. With all that being said, let's get into this magnificent haul. Okay, so lately I have just been really into like a cutesy little romance book, and I think the book that got me into this was the first book in the Heated Rivalry series, which I think is called like The Long Game. I think it's called Long Game. I can't remember, but it's the first one in that series. I just got so obsessed with that book, and it was a 5-star book for me. I absolutely loved it. I'm going to continue reading the series, but I then ended up picking Powerless in the Chestnut Spring series, and I just like devoured that in a day. And then I was listening to some romance books that I have on audiobook, like Icebreaker, Wildfire, the Done and Dusted series. I listened to that whole series in the past like month, and I've just been devouring them. So I'm like, I want some more of those cutesy little romance books just to like throw in as, I know people don't like the term like palette cleanser, but just as something different in between like some of my bigger fantasy reads. And I've had my eye on 2 series in particular, actually 3 series in particular, that are like a cutesy little romance series. Okay, I had to fix the camera and the lighting because I realized you couldn't see the cover of any of the books that I was showing, and my face looked super dark. So I did get all 4 of the books in the Lucky River Ranch series. So this is by Jessica Peterson. I've heard nothing but great things about this series. It's a cowboy romance, so people have kind of been comparing this to the Done and Dusted series or the Chestnut Spring series. First one in the series is Cash. And I also just like love the sprayed edges. I know people are getting sick of sprayed edges, but I am not. I am so into sprayed edges. Like I am 100% more likely to buy a book if it has sprayed edges. So Cash is the first one in the series. The second one is Wyatt. The third one is Sawyer. And then the fourth one that just recently came out is called Duke. So I did get this one today because I didn't have it at Target yesterday when I went to go pick it up. Yeah, I got to support one of the local businesses in my area, so that was good. I do know that there's going to be at least 1 more book. I don't know how many are supposed to be in this series, but I do know that the next book in the series is supposed to come out like sometime early this year in 2026. So yeah, I'm super excited about these. I almost like want to just bust through these in like a weekend and just have like a weekend where I read the Jessica Peterson Lucky River Ranch series. I don't know, I feel like that would be so fun. So if you guys want like a reading vlog on that, I can absolutely make that happen. I've been wanting to start the Windy City series. If you don't know, I am originally from the Chicago area, so I have been wanting to read this whole series. But the reason I particularly got this one first, because I actually don't have any of the other books. This is the only one that I have, which is the one that most recently came out. It's called Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. The first one is like Mile High, and then there's like Rewind It Back. Oh wait, that's this one. There's just like Play Along, that's another one in the series. So, but I really liked these limited edition covers and the sprayed edges. Of course, there's like an ombre sprayed edge, but this ombre sprayed edge has been sold out everywhere. And when I went into one of my local bookstores to get Duke, the book from Jessica Peterson, I saw that they had the Rewind It Back in the sprayed edges, and I was like, I have to get that because I'm never going to be able to find this again. So yeah, I ended up getting this one. I will for sure be getting the rest of them in the series in the ombre sprayed edges, but I just like to have them all match when they're on my bookshelf. I feel like it's just really aesthetically pleasing. So I decided to get this one, and yeah, I'm excited to start this series. I do want to just finish up a couple of the series that I'm in the middle of first. Like, I'm currently reading Icebreaker, Wildfire, and I want to finish Daydream before I start this. And then I also want to finish the Chestnut Spring series because I still have not done that. I feel like I've been putting off finishing that series in particular because it's one of the first books that I like completely binged. Like, I read the first book in that series in less than 24 hours, which at that point in my reading journey, I had not read anything that quickly. I was completely consumed by that book. So I feel like that series in general just has such a special place in my heart, and I've kind of been wanting to like extend the happiness that series has been giving me. So I've just been sprinkling in a book here and there, but I am kind of ready to like wrap up that series and just see how it ends. The last two books that I got at the independent bookstore that I went to today, which if you're in the Milwaukee area, it's called Thirst. My two favorite bookstores are called Thirst and The Well-Read Damsel. So if you're in the Milwaukee area, I highly recommend checking them out. They're fantastic. They only sell romance books, so they have like sports romance, they have cowboy romance, they have local authors, they have dark fantasy, they have romantasy, they have dark romance. Like, they have everything that you could possibly want, and I just love going in there because I feel like it's so easy to find a nice new romance book. Like, when I go to Barnes & Noble, I feel like I don't necessarily get that. I feel like, you know, they're trying to sell you specific books when you go into a store like that, but in the romance only bookstores, you know, the owner gets to pick which books like they think people would like, or new ones, or like ones that are fitting the season, like that kind of thing. So I just really like going in there. Anyways, that was a tangent, but I have been wanting to start the DC Stars series because I'm in my sports romance era, which is so funny because after I read Icebreaker, I was like, I don't like that book. I'm too old to listen to like hockey college romance, and after listening to Wildfire on audiobook, I'm like, I'm all in. Give me all of the college romance. I don't even care. I just want any kind of like romance that's sports related. And so I decided to get two books in the DC Star series. And I'm going to be totally honest, I don't know a ton about this series. I know that people love Chelsea Curto's, I don't know how to say her last name, but Curto, I think is how you say it. I know that people really like this series in particular, so I got two of the books, but now I'm kind of kicking myself because there were three available, and I should have gotten all three of them at the same time, because these are the second and third books in the series, so I can't even like start this. And they didn't have the first one at Barnes & Noble. I don't think they sell the DC Star series at Barnes & Noble, so I'm gonna have to pick up the first book, and then there are 7 total, but I think there's only 5 out currently. So I do plan on reading all of these books, and I'm so excited because I've heard nothing but great things about this series again. The other independent bookstore that I went to today is called Boswell Books, and it's also in the Milwaukee area. I saw this book by Sarah A. Parker, who is the author of When the Moon Hatched, and I did not know that she came out with another book. I had no idea, but this is called To Bleed a Crystal Bloom. And first of all, the cover is beautiful. It's this purple, like monochromatic cover. There's like an arch of flowers and a staircase and then like a giant castle, and I just love that. I think it's so cool. But this is essentially a retelling or a dark reimagining of Rapunzel. I love Rapunzel and I love Aurora. Those two are like my favorite, like old school princesses. I thought this would be really interesting. I have been wanting to get into some of the darker retellings of the Disney movies as well, or the Disney princesses, like Scarred, Hooked, that whole series. I've been wanting to get into that too. I'm a huge Disney person. We're Disney Vacation Club members. I just absolutely love Disney, and I've grew up loving Disney and going to Disney frequently. So I really want to get into those books as well. I am thinking that this is part of a series because there is a 1 on the side. So I'm kind of hoping that she comes out with more of these. That would be so fun. So anyways, I have not heard about this at all. And there is some like really cool artwork in here too, so I'm excited to read that for sure. Next up is a book I also had never heard of, but I saw it on one of like the tables in Boswell Books. This is called His Grace the Duke by Emily Rath. This one is a Regency romance. So, oh my gosh, it says the series continues. Wait, does that mean there's a first book that I did not know about? Well, that's unfortunate. I need to look up what the first book in the series is because apparently there's a first. Okay, I didn't realize this, but Emily Rath is the person who is the author of Pucking Around, which is a Why Choose Hockey romance series, I think. Or at least the first one is a Why Choose. But yeah, I had no idea that that was the same author. I get recommended Pucking Around and that whole series all of the time. All of the time, so. Oh yeah, would you look at that? Okay, so the first book in the series is called Beautiful Things. Like Fall I Want, Beautiful Things features a strong-willed heroine as steamy romance across economic divides, but transports you into Regency England with multiple intriguing suitors. It was giving me like Bridgerton vibes, which I will read anything that gives me Bridgerton vibes. So I decided to pick this up, although now I'm gonna have to also get the first book in this series, and it also looks like there is a third book as well. So just gonna add that to the cart. I do still have some gift cards. I got so many gift cards for Christmas, which I'm so grateful for. And I already kind of knew that I was going to spend essentially all of that money on books. So I do still have money left over on my gift cards. And I also have an Amazon gift card that I haven't used. So yeah, I just am going to be having a lot of fun reading. The third book in this series comes out on January 27th. Okay, the next 3 books are another set of series that I have just been getting recommended to, specifically on Kindle Unlimited, all of the time. So this is the Mountain Men Matchmaker series, and I think currently there's only 3 books in this series. So the first one is called The 9-Month Contract. This one just looks like a cute mountaineer romance book. Like, I think we have a guy with an axe. So I'm assuming he's like a lumberjack. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. But this was definitely giving me similar vibes to like the Chestnut Springs series or the Done and Dusted series, which is the Lucky River Ranch series. Okay, so the little thing at the top says, help wanted, grumpy mountain man seeks baby mama, job is an incubator position only. Surrogate must be impervious to grunting as the form of communication and nosy brotherly neighbors. Rustic mountain range housing available upon request. Oh my gosh, I didn't read that before, but that's really funny. I've not read a book with a surrogate kind of trope to it. Is that considered a trope? I don't know. I've never read that kind of book before, so I'm super excited about that. And I also love the edging where it's like a little plaid moment. It's very cute. And then the second book in the series is The 7-Year Itch. Again, it seems very like Mountain Man-y. So, oh, and Elsie Silver said deliciously fun and spicy on the cover, so perfect. This little excerpt at the top says, alone and looking to bone. Loudmouth mountain man seeks fiery woman to grow old with. I might look like a tall, tattooed, bearded Neanderthal, but like an onion, I have layers. Swipe right if you like a proud cat daddy who catches feelings after direct eye contact. This is so funny. I am so excited to read these. Like, I love a romance book that just makes me like laugh out loud. I love that. I absolutely love that. And then the third book in the series is Honeymoon Phase, which this one did just come out. I think it came out in January. Or maybe December, I can't remember. It was one of the 2 months. So the back of this one says, fact or fiction, proposing to your best friend so she can inherit her family business is a great idea. I did read that and that sounds so interesting. I love like a socioeconomic twist to a book. I just find that so interesting, and I think that's one of the reasons I loved the last book in the Lucky River Ranch series, which is Wild and Wrangled. I loved that one because it did have like a socioeconomic kind of financial twist to it, and I just love that in a book. I love that so much. So got these 3 books. I'm super excited. They all have a cute little plaid edging there, and I am just gonna eat those up. Okay, I'm gonna go through some fantasy books next that I've kind of acquired over the past few months. So first one is Blackthorn. This one is by J.T. Gessinger, I think is how you say it. You never forget your first love, especially when he's also your worst nightmare. That sounds fun. Okay, so it sounds like there's a bit of a mystery to this one with a body going missing. And the main character in here is trying to figure out like who took it and why. So that sounds fun. It sounds very like mystery meets fantasy, and I love that. I love a mystery and I love a fantasy. Next up, I got Dawn of the Firebird. I'm gonna be totally honest, I have no idea what this book is about. I just bought it purely for the cover. This book came out recently, I think within the past month or so. But the cover of this is just so pretty, and the edges are so pretty. I love it. But let's see what the little thing at the top says. Okay, so there's birds and magic and war. Perfect. Next up is Fallen Gods. I also don't really know what this one is about, but this one kept getting recommended to me on Kindle Unlimited before it came out, because I think this book came out in either like November or December, but Kindle kept telling me like, oh, you're gonna really like this, and so yeah, got that. Again, sprayed edges are beautiful. There's artwork on the inside of the cover. I love when the fantasy books have like artwork in the cover. I don't necessarily care about like the character art. I just love like a visual scene of something, especially about like the world, you know? I just love that. Okay, so this one has a university called Ender University, and it says that the gods aren't dead, they're only sleeping. So they're locked in mortal bodies and around the world. The main character gets sent to a university, and it's filled with ancient bloodlines. The main character has to steal something, and if he fails, then everyone he loves dies. Next up is Conform by Ariel Sullivan. I have heard nothing but great things. I know I keep saying that, but I've heard nothing but great things about this book. This one is like a dystopian book, so people were comparing this to Divergent. They were saying like if you really liked Divergent, you would like this one. I loved / still love Divergent. It's one of my favorite book series of all time. I personally liked Divergent better than The Hunger Games. I just thought the world was so interesting, and I really liked the characters, and obviously I had a giant crush on 4. If you put Peeta, Gale, and 4 all in a line, I'm picking 4. I'm picking 4 every time. I knew I was going to get this book. It was just a matter of time, so I am super excited to read this. Okay, next up I'm getting into some of them that I don't really know anything about, but I bought them, again, purely for the cover. So this one is called Dream by the Shadows by Logan Carley. Again, just a beautiful work of art. I mean, it says, in sleep he will haunt her. A shadow-cursed girl must venture into a deadly dream world to avenge her family, all while falling in love with the Prince of Darkness in this romantasy debut for fans of Powerless and Belladonna. Amazing. Then I got 7 Deadly Thorns by Amber Hamilton. I 100% got this because because the author's name is Amber and my name is Amber. I tend to do that. If the author and I have the same name, I'm gonna buy the book. So our main character Viola has a type of magic that means that if someone discovers her magic, she will die, and the queen finds out and sends someone to kill her. Next up is Something Wicked by Phelan Ballard. This one has something to do with like elections and power between like king and president. I actually think there's, woo, I almost just dropped that. I think there is a president, yeah. Candidates for the first presidential election will be selected by the completion of a special task, killing the former monarch of their home province. So I'm wondering if there's going to be like trials. I love a book with trials. I am not trialed out. Like, I want more trials, actually. I love trials. And then I got Hollow by Carolyn Peckham and Susan Valenti. These are the Twisted Sisters who wrote the Zodiac Academy series. They came out with a new series, which is The Crown of Hearts and Chaos, and Hollow is the first book in the series. This book has a couple different covers, but this one was my absolute favorite. It has the dragon on the front of it and like a haunted looking forest. and then pink edges with a face of a dragon on it. So this one I got at Target. I have seen them available, I think on Amazon. I also saw this particular cover, but yeah, I really liked this one in particular. I don't know what this is about, but I am obsessed with the Twisted Sisters, so I knew I was gonna have to get it. Also, I've just been craving a book with dragons in it. Like, I've just been really wanting to see more dragons. Like, I'm missing the feeling that Fourth Wing gave me with all of the dragons in it, so I'm really excited to read this one. But it says, the great hunt begins once every 50 years, and only the champions willing to face death to shadow the curse dare to enter, the champions and me. Okay, that sounds like everything I just said that I wanted, with like trials and dragons. That sounds awesome. I don't actually know if there are trials in this, but like, I mean, it kind of sounds like it. These next books are all the books that I got on sale at Barnes & Noble because they had like a hardcover 50% off sale. So I'm just going to run through these pretty quickly. The first one I got is Oathbound. This is the third book in the Legendborn Cycle series. To be honest, I don't have the first two books, but I really liked this particular hardcover and I loved the artwork in the front of it, and it was only $10. So, and it's a signed exclusive edition. So I decided to get this. This book, or this series, is on my TBR, so I do plan on reading all of the books in this series, hopefully this year. I was planning on getting all of the books from Book of the Month because I think all of them are still available on Book of the Month. So I might end up getting the first two on Book of the Month if I can put them in like my next box or something, because then I can get them also for like only $10. So that'll be great, but I am super excited. I've heard rave reviews about this series too. I also got Visions of Flesh and Blood. This is a compendium novel for the Blood and Ash series. I am currently in the middle of reading the Blood and Ash and Flesh and Fire series. I'm doing like the tandem read where you read them interspersed together. So this was the only book that I don't have in that like reading order. I wanted to get the Barnes & Noble one because it was an exclusive edition and I just liked how it looked better than the other edition of it. I felt like it matched my editions that I have better. So I waited for it to go on sale and I got it. Next up, I got two books in the Belladonna series. I got Wisteria and Holly. These are both by Adeline Grace. She, again, wrote the Belladonna series. I don't have Belladonna and Foxglove, so I will end up getting those at some point. But I am trying to get the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions because I love how they look without the dust jacket on. I absolutely love the hardback of this. So if I can find the other editions in the Barnes & Noble, like on Pango or something, I think I'm gonna pick those up. But these were both on sale for like $10 on the Barnes & Noble sale. So yeah, Holly is technically a novella, but Wisteria is the third book in the series. Last but not least, I needed to get the rest of the Lightlark series. So I've been going back and forth on which editions of the Lightlark series I wanted to get. Currently, I only have the paperback version of Lightlark, but I had nothing else in the series, and I knew I wanted to get like the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Crown Tide because I really liked the way that it looked. But then they had these special editions of like Lightlark and Nightbane and Sky Shade, I think is what it's called. I don't know. But I just couldn't figure out which ones I wanted to do. I ended up going with all the hardbacks mostly because the special edition ones were 50% off. So Lightlark and Nightbane, I got the like collector's edition, and these were both 50% off. I also got Grimm and Oro for 50% off too, and that was also in like the deluxe like special edition one. So I ended up going with all hardcovers for those. And then Crown Tide is only available in a hardcover, and I wanted the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so I ended up getting this. And again, this was 50% off. This entire series was 50% off. So I'm super excited about that. I love it. I think it looks so pretty. So Lightlark is definitely on the top of my TBR for 2026. I have to read it. I have to read it. So I'm glad I have all of them. I just have to get the third book in this series now, and then I'll have every single book. But yeah, that is it for this massive book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if there's any books that you want me to do a reading vlog on, because I am just so loving doing reading vlogs right now. Like, they're just bringing me so much joy, and it's really helping me get through a ton of books, which I just love doing. I love reading like 10 to 15 books a month. It's not even, I mean, yes, the number gives me like satisfaction, but it's also just that I get to consume all of these fun and amazing stories, and I just love that. Like, what is TV? I don't know. I don't remember the last time I watched TV, to be totally honest. Like, I replaced everything with audiobooks or actually reading physical books or reading on my Kindle or my Kobo. So yeah, if there's any books that you want to see a reading vlog on, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that, and I will make sure to keep you guys updated on what I'm reading. If you want to follow me on Fable, I am an active user of Fable. I absolutely love Fable. I hate Goodreads. I hate Goodreads so much. I cannot get past the user interface. Like, I hate it. I hate the user interface. It's so not user-friendly, and yeah, it just really bothers me. So I am always Team Fable for everything. So go ahead and follow me on there. I would love to follow you guys back too. So that is going to be it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!